on sign language. Now, Uganda's oil is finally getting itself out of the ground ahead of that date of 2025. That and many more stories in the headlines tonight. I'll see you in a few.
The headlines brought to you by.
Now available in the new look of the Radiant Hair Relaxer with herbal extracts and no base formula. Radiant. Look good. Feel great.
The oil is finally here.
It will be commissioned on 24th of this month.
Uganda starts drilling her oil next week ahead of the 2025 commercial production.
We should not go beyond June without an FID for the refinery being announced.
I can tell you, if we add 200 shillings to each litre,
Members of Parliament propose 200 shillings tax on every litre of fuel.
that we are adding 200 shillings so that your vehicle can pass on a motorable road.
Revenues to be spent on road maintenance.
They will pay the money.
26 Entebbe Airport staff suspended over extortion of travelling passengers.
From the different agencies have either been terminated, suspended, or sent back.
I think this is a fundamental change in the politics of our country.
Government haunted by high levels of unemployment as different strategies fail to provide the much needed remedy.
And as we commemorate, it's important that we reflect more on how we protect even those that are in employment.
The headlines brought to you by.
Now available in the new look of the Radiant Hair Relaxer with herbal extracts and no base formula. Radiant. Look good. Feel great.
Very good evening. My sleeves may be chopped, but nothing has been chopped off the bulletin. Neither has anything been chopped off my names. I'm still Samson Kasumba, and we haven't chopped off Jagwe Michael, who is on sign language. Let's get into the bulletin this evening. By the way, a very special welcome to all of you who are on with us tonight. The management of Civil Aviation Authority, UCAA, has spoken out on allegations of extortions at Entebbe International Airport among its staff, saying 26 of them have been suspended, while one staff member has been arrested and detained at the Aviation Police. The Deputy Director General of the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority has attributed the mess on what has been circulating on social media as laxity on the part of enforcement team at the Entebbe International Airport. These are the details.
Speaking to the press at Entebbe International Airport, Olive Lumonya Birungi, the Deputy Director General, Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, noted that in 2021, management of Civil Aviation Authority issued a directive banning its junior staff and air travelers from using mobile phones to take photos at the airport facility, but unfortunately, the directive was not effectively implemented.
Anyone who is directly facing or interfacing with a customer or serving a passenger should not be holding a phone with them, because the phone is one way that actually affects customer service, but also a phone can be used for these fraudulent tendencies, and that has been agreed.
Lumonya revealed that in order to wipe out alleged extortion and improve on customer care service at the airport facility, management has resolved that all staff have name tags on their uniforms so as to deal with the errant ones, noting that one has been arrested and 26 suspended or terminated.
And we've given a number of stakeholders at the airport 1 week in which everyone who walks into here to serve a passenger will have a name tag, very clear name tag, so that when I deal with you, I exactly know who I'm dealing with.
The Director of Citizenship and Immigration Control at the Immigration Unit, Kasita Gowa, said the video clips that went viral on social media are informative and helps them to take action against errant officers.
Some of them are very good, very informative, and have allowed us to take corrective action on some of our errant staff. But others are also very sensational, as Madame has said. Others are very sensational, and to an extent, some of them defamatory. So I'd really like to urge the public also to be more objective in some of the issues that they raise.
Speaking to Flight Captain Francis Babu, many of the travelers have fallen victim to this fraud due to lack of knowledge about their traveling process.
Well, there's one thing: whenever an airport has got a bad rating in misbehaving, it's internationally, indicated. And people tell you when you go to Entebbe Airport, be careful of your luggage, be careful of these people. They are not very good. Now, it gives a very bad impression.
Linda Ndungwami, Sunday Sebagala, NBS, live at 9.
Away from that, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development says that the drilling of the long-awaited Uganda's oil will start on Tuesday next week, while the final investment decision of the Ugandan oil refinery will be made in June this year. The Energy Minister, Ruth Nankabirwa, says all these developments will see the 2025 deadline for the commercialization of oil and gas sector met. These as she officiated at the media briefing to highlight the key milestones reached in 2022 and the sector outlook for 2023. As she spoke, Hakim Wampamba was there and he reports.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development has highlighted 2022 as a year of great success for the oil and gas sector, despite the push by local and international civil society, as well as environmental activists. Energy Minister Ruth Nankabirwa explains that the sector is on course.
No objection was raised to granting ECOP Limited the license to be the one to construct the pipeline. So the review and evaluation of the applications in Uganda have been completed, and the Cabinet provided approval to issue the license, and I am issuing the license this week.
To her, 2023 will even be greater as the roadmap for the new milestones is clear.
And the rig will be officially commissioned before the end of January 2023, and to be specific, it will be commissioned on 24th of this month, which is a Tuesday next week. We should not go beyond June without an FID for the refinery being announced. Otherwise, we shall run late for our first oil, which is expected in 2025.
Despite the many milestones that the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development has highlighted for the year 2022, it has also alluded to the fact that 2023 is going to be big in that it is going to involve exploration of areas far beyond the Albertine Graben. To the Executive Director of the Petroleum Authority of Uganda, Ernest Rubondo, the excitement about the developments in the oil and gas sector to take advantage of the immense opportunities presented by the sector.
That there are actually a lot of opportunities that this sector has brought to the country and its people, and we need to work together to ensure that these opportunities are also disseminated.
Even while fears about the viability of the sector stand in the face of the energy transition, the government says that the evaluation for the country's oil and gas projects using the upstream economic model for 2022 results show that the total cost of drilling and producing a barrel of oil is estimated at $17.73 per barrel, with the transportation tariff on the East African crude oil pipeline set at $12.77 per barrel as per the tariff and transportation agreement. This for government therefore means that the project remains commercially viable for oil and gas companies at a discount rate of 10%. Officials say that the outlook for the sector is positive as the year starts. Hakim Wampamba, NBS, live at 9.
The Finance Committee of Parliament is mooting a proposal for a 200 shillings levy on every litre of fuel to finance Uganda Road Fund. Members of Parliament want the Road Fund operationalised in order to avail funds for the maintenance of the dilapidated roads across the country. This will see the government channel at least £1 billion shillings into the project.
The proposal was contained in a presentation by the Finance Committee leadership as it appeared before the Budget Committee to present the budget framework paper for the Ministry of Finance. The current annual national budget requirement for road maintenance is approximately 1.400 trillion shillings, but the government has only provided 487 billion for the financial year 2023-2024, leaving a funding gap of 913 billion.
Really to cut here and there roads for the district. We need to provide money for the district, municipalities and sub-counties. And roads are in a bad situation because they are not maintained.
People are paying tax.
they will expect service, but there is no money to actually provide the service.
Uganda's road asset value stands at 30 trillion, with the effects of climate change continuing to increase damage of roads, yet funding has equally become a challenge. Legislators are concerned that the road sector budget has been skewed, thus causing a backlog in road maintenance and construction. Currently, under the road fund, districts
100 billion shillings to the districts, cities and municipalities, and with the equipment that they have given them. Now, our people will be able to work tirelessly.
So we understand the cake is too small, but let's give priority to the road sector, especially maintenance. We believe we need new roads, but at least maintenance should be given priority.
I want to agree with you, the committee, that this is an institution that we must maintain in this country and even fund.
In this regard, the Finance Committee is proposing new taxes of 200 shillings per litre of fuel to finance activation of the Uganda Road Fund to make it fully operational. The Uganda Road Fund, created in 2008, wants to operationalize, and the committee believes it will be easy to generate 400 billion shillings annually, giving each district at least 1 billion shilling for road maintenance.
I can tell you, if we add 200 shillings to each litre, and you sensitize the authorities that we are adding 200 shillings so that your vehicle can pass on a motorable road, they will pay the money. But the issue is, like somebody put it, the government will be looking at that soft spot where money easily comes. And I would want to know, how many litres of fuel do we sell in the country?
Where road fund, up to now, the road fund act is not operationalized. So we are putting 200 things per litre for a fund that is not yet operationalized.
It's been a big problem because it's a question of appropriation. It's setting priorities. As you're aware, because of the heavy rains, most of our district roads and community roads have collapsed. And yet we have bought graders and road equipment are in those districts.
The Budget Committee of Parliament is also against the idea of rationalisation of Uganda Road Fund and the Uganda National Roads Authority in the ongoing rationalisation policy, urging it will affect service delivery.
That some agencies should not be rationalised. And one of them is Road Fund, and in my humble view, another one is UNRA. I don't think UNRA should be rationalised.
It would be a fundamental mistake to abolish National Road Fund. Worldwide, states invest heavily in maintenance of roads.
Meanwhile, the Budget Committee members are divided on the proposed budget of 282 billion shillings for payment of Lubowa International Specialized Hospital, whose 5 promissory notes are expected to mature in the financial year 2023-2024. Shamim Nawakoza, NBS, live at 9.
Lack of effective labour systems to protect the employed population alongside high rates of unemployment will continue to haunt the National Resistance Movement government, even as it sets to celebrate 37 years of existence. The regime has also witnessed a mismatch between its various unemployment interventions and the intended outcomes due to the implementation of queries that do not speak to the intended objectives of driving Ugandans out of poverty.
Point number 5 of the NRA's 10-point program focused on building an independent, integrated and self-sustaining economy. Number 10 focused on following an economic strategy of mixed economy.
I think this is a fundamental change in the politics of our country.
These, according to many, were promising that the NRM government had come ready dressed to fight poverty and unemployment through robust economic commitments.
The National Resistance Movement, I think, is a clear-headed movement with clear objectives and with good membership.
And immediately, the new government on the Pearl of Africa was quick to embark on a privatization program in 1993, which was yet another promising interventions to steer economic progress in the country, as well as help in fighting unemployment.
If there is a war that the NRM government has committed itself to win and it has been fighting for a long time, it's the war against poverty and against underdevelopment.
This later appeared to be the first blow that NRM suffered in the battle to fight poverty and unemployment.
When that happened, not very many privately owned entities that took over from government operations did well. We may remember the Hajin Sambas, the Zigotis, who took over the Coffee Marketing Board operation of selling coffee.
The problem was that those who picked on running the public enterprises under the privatization program were never prepared and therefore lacked entrepreneurial skills.
Many cooperatives that were there, and we later got individuals to fill that space, individuals have not performed very well.
Although fresh with the privatization program whose fruits were not yet certain to NRM, it embarked on restructuring banking services, which up to now still hold critics angered.
We got rid of a publicly owned Uganda Commercial Bank.
We should be able to have back our cooperative bank. We can have an agricultural bank for Ugandans, owned by Ugandans.
Nonetheless, NRM has been working down the clock to initiate several interventions that it deems fit to bridging unemployment amidst surging population numbers. In order to get every child of school-going age to class, the government adopted universal primary education in 1997 and universal secondary education in 2007, alongside sponsoring several students at post-secondary level.
In the meantime, avenues such as labor externalization should be streamlined because they create temporary opportunities for young people who can't find jobs for now. So labor externalization, the trade in labor going in Gulf countries should be streamlined.
And as we commemorate, it's important that we reflect more on how we protect even those that are in employment.
Elsewhere, other interventions like the microcredit programs that involved putting a circle in every sub-county were dying almost at their inception.
Shell, I feel government has done a lot, but it's time for government to hand over the game of enterprise success and economic success to the Ugandan, to the individual, to the citizen.
One of the issues affecting creation of jobs is the high interest rates of banks. The banks have their reasons why the interest rates are high, but we are saying we have our local Ugandan banks. Post Bank, we have Pride, we have Housing Finance. Why is it that government banks are not able to lend at, for example, 8%?
Embarking on infrastructural progress is also another eye-opener for NRM to fight unemployment alongside adopting the parish development model.
Program would have been a good program. The implementation becomes a challenge, that not all the aspects of a program are actually looked at.
In the country, with a global ranking in enterprises startup, its population lacks skills that enables it to compete favorably on the international job market.
Right now, as a country, we have to start skilling for the global market. It's very important, because then you can have some people being employed in the country, others within the region, others beyond continents.
When you have more people that do vocational, it means the potential for you to create your own employment or being easily taken up is actually higher.
Now the burden is on the government to empower its citizens to be self-reliant and stop waiting for handouts from it.
Government has done a lot. It's time to hand the baton of success, the baton of transformation to the citizen through business training, through business mindset, through ensuring that Ugandans recognize that you do not eliminate poverty through treasury resources.
From the last manifesto and then the current one, there is no mention of a minimum wage as a form of protecting workers. Because if you don't protect them, you're leaving them at exploitation.
As of January 2023, Uganda has over 20 million working population out of over 45 million people, compared to 15 million people in 1986, of which only 7 million was a working population. Linda Ndungami, Julius Chitone, NBS, Live at 9.
High Court in Soroti has maintained 3 members of parliament after throwing out petitions against them. This is after court dismissed 3 election petitions filed against Soroti East Member of Parliament Herbert Edmund Ariko, Soroti West Member of Parliament Jonathan Ebwalu, and Toroma County Member of Parliament Joseph Andrew Koluo.
Justice Musa Sekana has dismissed 3 election petitions that were filed against Soroti East, Soroti West and Toroma County MPs Herbert Edmund Ariko, Jonathan Ebwalu and Joseph Andrew Koluo. In the petitions, a section of voters were querying the legality of over 5,000 voters who participated in the Soroti East and Soroti West elections from the Alouette and OPI wards. In his ruling, Justice Sekana noted that the election petitions had been filed out of time, dismissing 2 of the petitions with costs.
This court has no jurisdiction to interpret or construe clear provisions of the Constitution or statute in the guise of promoting democracy when the enabling law does not allow. The second respondent, being a valid elected sitting member of Parliament, cannot be administratively removed from office, which is one of the orders sought by the petitioners. I agree with them.
In the petition against Toroma County Joseph Koluo Andrew, his former contender Osia Alemu had run to the courts of law citing election malpractice. However, Justice Musa Sekana ruled that the petitioner had failed to prove his case beyond reasonable doubt.
Irregularities at an election which is neither the act of a candidate nor linked to him cannot affect his election. A petitioner, through adducing evidence, must prove 2 things, which are that either the irregularities, particularly allotment of votes, have been established, and whether the allotment of votes can be attributed to the respondent.
The argument was the same in the election petition relating to malpractices cited in the Soroti East elections. Lawyers representing the respondents in the petition welcomed the rulings. Olivia Nakalembe, Eddie Enuru, NBS, Live at 9.
We do have a love and fondness for opinions, and we do have a segment for that. It is called Have Your Say. So let's get into what the question was before we get into what your responses happen to be. Share your thoughts on the proposal to add Uganda shillings 200 to each litre of fuel for the whole reason of road maintenance. And Musinguzi says, I read an article somewhere which says Uganda is beginning to exercise the exercise of extracting its oil in a month of February. Now, instead of reducing, they are making it harder. Come one, State House Uganda. Kwizera says increasing prices of fuel won't fight the cost of living we are in. We need a thorough economic reform, okay? And maybe finally, Fred says, other countries are reducing the price of fuel because now most vehicles are turning to be electric, so fuel is losing demand. Well, that's your opinion too. Finally, Angela says the cost is already high. It will negatively impact the already dwindling economy. Maybe you also want to think about the idea that if the roads are not very good, then whatever the cost of the fuel, you will not benefit too much from it.
More to come, brought to you by
Make your building a paradise. We have weather coat emulsion, undercoat emulsion, silk vinyl emulsion, flat emulsion, super gloss and high gloss. Global Paint, a reliable product.
In still to come, government takes over the management of ginger oil reserves.
More to come, brought to you by
Make your building a paradise. We have weather coat emulsion, undercoat emulsion, silk vinyl emulsion, flat emulsion, super gloss and high gloss. Global Paint, a reliable product.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too!